Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Thursday, last day before Friday, which is last day of the week. But here's what we got going on. So miners were mixed today as far as action on the stock market. Bitcoin was down. Bitcoin's actually heading down now even more. We're going to take a look at it. But it looks like Bitcoin's coiling up to become a little rocket here, possibly, I'm guessing, the next week or so, maybe. We'll see if that plays out that way. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about, obviously, Mawson upsizing their convertible notes to 950 million. Hive reaching 13 exahash here already. They're going to be getting to, I believe, 18 exahash by the end of August, I think. We'll take a look at it. I think that's August. We have Strategy also upsizing their offering to 2 billion now. We got Mike Novogratz talking about Ethereum possibly outperforming Bitcoin here in the next 5 months or so towards the end of the year. We'll discuss that. We also have some old Bitcoin being moved, possibly being sold as well. Several $100 million there. We'll talk about that. We got other bullish news stories on Bitcoin as well. So we have a lot to get through here. And then we'll get into Q&A, as always. So we got to go through this every time. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's get into Bitcoin and miners here as far as what's going on market-wise. So Bitcoin was down a little bit more today. It was down 0.35%. It's now down 1.5% basically. On the new day for Friday right now, it is looking way oversold here on the 15-minute chart. You can see this thing, the RSI is at 12. We haven't been this low on the RSI. Oh my gosh, having to go back, probably back to here, which was back on July 25th. So not too far, but it's been definitely quite a while since we've been that low on it. And we definitely bounced off of that as well. So I'm guessing here we're going to probably be bouncing here relatively quickly on it as it is right now. We can see that the 1 hour chart is also looking pretty low right now. Last time we were at that point was back here on the 15th of July, going back a little bit more ways than before. Then it obviously bounced from that. But right now we're kind of trading sideways with it in a range a little bit. I think we're coiling up for a nice explosive growth here in the next week or so, possibly. Based on just what I'm seeing with the RSI. The 4 hour chart RSI is way down as well. And like on the daily, like I talked about here just a second ago, before I started filming or going live here, maybe about a half an hour ago or so, Bitcoin was right around 117,000. We're obviously now at 116,500, but we were up about 500 higher than we are right now. And at that point, when I was looking at the RSI here, and the price action here, we see that we were at 1,700 here, or 117,000. At this point, RSI was much higher at this point, right? We were at like 73, 72 RSI. Then the next time we got down to this range again, which was right around here, we, on the RSI, we were actually lower, 63. And then this time around, when I looked at it here, RSI was even lower at this point. That's why I'm saying price is more or less flat. RSI is continuing to go down. That's why I'm thinking we're coiling up for a nice explosive growth here. I don't know whether it's going to be tomorrow or next week sometime, but it does look like we're coiling up at least right now. Could we go down a little bit lower? Yeah, it's always a possibility. We could go down to like 115, 114,000 and bounce off of that before everything is said and done here. But this is still looking really good for me, at least right now. So we'll see where it goes. Markets were kind of mixed as well. Dow Jones was down a little bit. The NASDAQ was up just a little bit, 0.18%, sorry. And then the S&P was up just 0.07%. Ethereum was actually up today, but it's down in the red right now. It was up 2.16%, and it's down 2.38% right now as it is. Miners were mixed. We had a lot of them were in the red. Bitfarms continued their streak going down here. It was down 3.15%. BitDeer was actually up today. That continued its uptrend here, 2.78%. Cango was actually up 1.17%. Cypher was down just a little bit, 0.45%. Cleanspark was down a little bit as well, 0.8% on that one. CORZ was up 1.48%. Hive was down 2%. HUT 8, 2.36% was down. IREN was down 4.48%. It's actually looking pretty good here on the RSI. The RSI actually been coming down while price has been actually going up here on it. That looks actually pretty good. Mara was down 1.76%. It's bouncing off of the 200 simple day moving average here right now. I mean, it did get to a high of 2150 here just about a week ago or so, and it's been coming down here. Riot up 2.44%. This one is continuing to have a nice little rally here the last week or so. So that one's doing really good. Wolf was up 2.31%. This one's kind of trading flat, but starting to kind of come back up a little bit as well. MicroStrategy was up a little bit today, 0.5%. Galaxy was up another 3.18%. This thing is also having a nice rally here in the last week. Right, Mike Novogratz owns Galaxy there. And they're going to be able, I think they have Ethereum HODL as well. On that one, they also have Bitcoin HODL there. Also, who else do we have here? Coin was down just a little bit, 0.285%. MetaPlanet was down 2.5%. Exodus movement was down 1.75%. Semler was down 1% roughly. The blockchain group was up a little bit, 1.13%. Game was actually down 1.79%. And then the small miners were down for the most part, except for Argo being up just a little bit here. DG Power was down actually quite a bit here. It was down 10.8%. On that one, Bitcoin miner ETFs, we're all in the red here today, just a little bit for the most part. Ethereum holding companies here. BitDigital was down 3.87%. BTCS was down 8.19%. BMNR was actually positive today. It was up 5.7%. I think it was up higher than that. It was up 10-15% during the start. Then it came down. Game was actually flat on the day. And then SBAT was down 9.65% on it. So that's the action there. Bitcoin dominance is stayed flat here today, and it was down a little bit here today, and it's more or less flat right now. So we'll see if that continues to go back up here as we have maybe a rotation happening out of the altcoins and going back into Bitcoin and Bitcoin proxies, but potentially on that one. All right, looking at the miners here really quick, how they are doing in pre-market hours. We got Bitdeer being down 0.79%, Bitfarms being up just a little bit, 0.81%, Cango being down 0.19%, Cypher being down 1.35%, Cleanspark being down 0.24%, Core being down 0.88%, Hive being up 1.7%, 8, excuse me, being up 0.19%, IREN being up 1.27%, and then we got Mara being down let's see, where does it finish out at? It's still going. Well, okay, it's actually 1%, 1.3%. Well, it finished. All right, there we go. It's down 1.22% as of right now. Riot is down 0.48%. TeraWolf is down 3% as it is. And Bitcoin here for the month of July is still up 9.54%. We got basically a week to go left in the month. We'll see where we end up at that point as always. But I think it's going to be a green month for us. Unless we get something massive happening here, we should be in the green. Bitcoin ETF inflows here. We had an inflow, positive inflow looks like from IBIT, from BlackRock, 142 million. But that still wasn't enough to give us a positive here. So we've had 3 negative days of inflows from the ETFs. Fidelity sold a bunch there, 227 million on that one, but they bought back, this was for 23rd, right now it's the 24th. So this was yesterday, and today they actually bought back 106 million. So we're having a little bit of a correction there, or it's looking better here for at least today. We'll see where IBIT comes in at that point. All right, some bullish news stories here on Bitcoin, and then we'll get into some of the other stories that we do have here. Semler Scientific has acquired another 175 Bitcoin for 21 million and has achieved Bitcoin yield of 31.3% year to date. They are now holding 5,021 Bitcoin, right? Companies continue to buy. So who's selling? Well, we'll get into that here in a second. I have an article about it, potentially who's selling here. Bitcoin from, this is from the UK. Gold miner Nativo Resources plans to establish a Bitcoin treasury from gold to digital gold. Again, more and more companies buying up Bitcoin here. Right, we're going to see that squeeze happening, and I think that's why I'm saying that we might have that coil action happening in Bitcoin here shortly. This is also just in. Japanese AI company Quantum plans to buy 356 million Bitcoin within the next 12 months. Gradually, then suddenly, right? More and more of these companies, we're hearing more about them every single day, it seems like. Let's see, this is also UK-based Satsuma Technology just raised 135 million for its new Bitcoin treasury strategy, setting a record for the national BTC treasury raise. If the full amount is converted to Bitcoin, it would make Satsuma the second largest corporate Bitcoin holder in the UK. All right. So again, another company that's just going to be stacking Bitcoin here. And then Ghana to license Bitcoin and crypto firms amid surging demand. So they're seeing a huge demand for it as well, and we're just having more and more adoption happening here, which is great to see. All right. Next, let's get into some more good news stories here. This is from Bitcoin News, or Bitcoin.com. Calmos releases new research, advocates for Bitcoin allocation to be 10x higher than current recommendations. What are they talking about here? Well, they're saying Calmos advocates for up to 10% Bitcoin allocation. Right? Some people have been saying 1% or something like that. They're saying it should be around 10%. I agree. I think it should be somewhere between 5 and 10% in your portfolio, at the very least. You should have it around that area. So that's bullish, right? You're seeing more and more of these hedge funds too, but also fund managers and others that advocate for diversifying and things like that. They're coming around and they're telling their customers, hey, you need to put a little bit in Bitcoin, and maybe other cryptocurrencies as well. So that's great news there. And then here's who's possibly selling here. So Satoshi Era Bitcoin whale moves 469 million in BTC after 14 years. Bitcoin whale holding nearly $500 million in BTC moved the fortune to a new address Thursday after more than 14 years. Are they going to be selling? Possibly, right? I mean, if you got that much money, and for whatever reason, something has happened in your life where well, this is definitely life-changing money right at this point. So we don't know who that is, what their plans are, but this is who is possibly going to be selling. And I've said this before, right? People that had bought into Bitcoin back in 2016, 2015, 2013, 2014, whatever it might be, when Bitcoin was under $1,000 or even under $10,000, right? These people that have bought Bitcoin back then are starting to see, well, they're seeing huge returns on it right now as it is. And it is, for a lot of people, life-changing money. So that's why we're seeing still potentially those people selling. Eventually that is going to, expire, or not expire. It's going to basically slow down, I think. And what we're seeing now is like the old whales selling to the new whales, which are the institutions, the ETFs. All of that is happening right now as it is. But we're still seeing, obviously, shrinking Bitcoin reserves on exchanges and on OTC desks as well. That's just going to continue as time progresses. 450 Bitcoin are mined each day. That does not supply enough Bitcoin for what the demand is out there right now as it is. And it's only going to be growing as time progresses here. We're seeing more and more companies going to be buying it. All right, so there's what's going on with that. Strategy boosts Bitcoin fundraiser to $2 billion via preferred stock report. Right, we talked about this. I think originally it was like 500 million or something like that they were looking to get. Now they raised that up to 2 billion here. So they're going to be stacking more Bitcoin as it is for their war chest against everybody else here. So that's good news, right? They're going to be buying up a crap ton of Bitcoin here coming up here probably in the next couple of weeks. We'll definitely see that probably every single Monday like it has been happening here for the last, probably for the past year, I think. Well, maybe not that long. I know they've been stacking for every week though, but how long it's been, I don't know exactly. And then next here is Mike Novogratz, right? Bitcoin could hit 150,000 this year, says Mike Novogratz, but Ethereum might outperform BTC. And the reasoning for that is pretty simple, I think. Galaxy CEO Mike Novogratz said that Ethereum could do better than Bitcoin over the next 3 to 6 months. Institutions buying the second biggest cryptocurrency will help propel its rise, he said. I kind of agree with that. We're seeing ETFs. We're seeing also companies form treasury companies of Ethereum. And then Ethereum remains well below its all-time high mark from 2021, while Bitcoin just recently hit another fresh peak. Yeah, we're seeing that, where Bitcoin has outperformed Ethereum since last bull run. And maybe Ethereum does catch up a little bit here, right? So, but price appreciation-wise, percentage-wise, I think Ethereum might do better because it's lower price. It's around $3,000, $4,000 right now as it is. So if you go up, to 6,000, 7,000, you're up 100% on it. Whereas Bitcoin now needs to get to like 224,000, basically to have 100% gains on it at this point. But you're seeing that huge amount of monetary value there, right? So for Bitcoin to do basically a 2x from here, you're talking about 112,000 or 117,000 right now in value being created there. Whereas Ethereum, for it to go up 2x, you only need to go up another 3,500 roughly. So which would you rather own though? I still would rather own Bitcoin, right? Unless you have a lot more Bitcoin or a lot more Ethereum than you do on Bitcoin, you can look at it that way. So depending on how much you have of each, will determine how much your gains are based on that. So Bitcoin's 117,000 right now. That is roughly, what is that going to be? 33, like 35, 38 Ethereum worth, somewhere around there, in order to be the same amount right now as it is for one Bitcoin. All right, so I can agree that we might see Ethereum outperform percentage-wise, but dollar value-wise, I think Bitcoin is still going to be the GOAT there. All right, so that's that. I'm Mike Novogratz and his astute proclamation of where things are going to go. Next here, let's get into the miners really quick here. This is great to see. Hive Digital Technology surpasses 13 exahash as scalable growth and revenue expansion accelerates in Paraguay and reaches 300 million annual run rate, ARR. So here's what we got. So they probably announced it has crossed the 13 exahash per second threshold in global Bitcoin mining hash rate, mining over 6.5 Bitcoin daily since crossing the threshold. This is actually really good. They're seeing really good revenue increases here recently in the last couple of months. We'll take a look at it here shortly. but they're accelerating their progress, right? So the build out of phase 2 at the company's Waigusa campus is progressing steadily, with over 2 exahash of next generation Bitmain S21 plus Hydro ASIC miners now active at the site. Upon full deployment, the company anticipates that phase 2 will host approximately 6.5 exahash of computational power, propelling the company toward its near-term goal of aggregate global hash rate of 18 exahash by the end of August 2025. So I was right. They did state that was by August. So they're at 13. They're going to be adding another 5 exahash here in August here, which is really nice. Growth for them, huge growth actually, for them from where they were. Down here, it's also fully funded roadmap to 25 exahash. So it looks like they have everything that they need. So we might see a little bit less dilution here happening going forward in the next 5 months or so, I guess. But with the improved ASIC efficiency, it lowers the cost of Bitcoin production as less energy is required to produce hash rate. ASIC efficiency is directly proportional to the cost of Bitcoin production. A 10% improvement in ASIC efficiency, all other things being equal, equates to a 10% lower cost of Bitcoin production, which is true, right? As you get more efficient, they're talking about using these newer machines that have an efficiency of 15 joules per terahash there. That's going to bring them down here, and it should bring them down to like 18.5 joules per terahash, which is actually pretty good here. I think that would put them in like third spot as far as efficiency is concerned. I believe IREN is number 1. Then you got Cleanspark, I believe, and then this would probably put them in number 3 spot as is on that one. Okay, continuing on here, Hive is also pleased to note this week that the company realized $300 million of annualized run rate revenue from Bitcoin mining and HPC operations with profit margins of approximately 55% based on current global average power cost for Hive and current hash price of approximately $59 per hash. Now, they are saying that they're going to possibly get even higher than that, right? Which they should. As Hive advances its fully funded expansion strategy, the company expects to achieve approximately $400 million in annual run rate upon reaching its near-term target of 18 exahash. At that scale, Hive projects a global fleet efficiency of 18.5 joules per terahash and mining margins approaching 60% after electrical costs based on current hash price of $59. So that is really, really, really good. That's definitely should help them out, and it should make them much more profitable going forward. And I've always said this, right? Scale. You need to get to scale with these guys in order to have any lasting potential there. I think they can also dilute, and like they have done in the past. But if you want to pull less on the dilution trigger lever, you really need to get to scale. And that scale could be different for each company depending on what their overhead costs are, right? Selling, general administrative costs, what are those? Other costs that they could put into it as well. If you can outgrow those through growth and Bitcoin mining and revenue, you can then use that other revenue to possibly fund your growth as going forward, right? Kind of what we've seen here with Cleanspark. Cleanspark got to scale right around 40, 50 exahash, and they've been able to now, well, not dilute at all this year since November of last year. They've also been able to fund their growth here by selling a portion of their Bitcoin, but still being able to hodl there as well. So this is what they need to do. Whether it's going to be 25 exahash for them, which I don't think is going to be enough, maybe. They're going to have to go probably a little bit higher than that as well. But it all depends on the cost, right? If your cost structure is pretty good, you could definitely have a lower hash rate and still get to scale at that point. So it just really depends on cost. All right. You guys can read the rest of it. There's not much here. We're going to take a look at Hive here really quick. What does this mean for them here in the month of July? Well, for the month of July, I did add the new miners. They got up to the 13 exahash here. And I also took out some of the older machines here, the 110 terahash machines, which were obviously older, less efficient. So I took those out and put in the new machines there. I have them operating for about maybe 20 days on average, something like that, out of the month. That would give them, if they operated everything else at 31 days out of the month, which they might get close to doing that. They are very efficient at operating. That would get us to about 21 million roughly right now. We'll find out what the number is actually when they report their July production update. But right now, it's kind of where we're looking at it for them. And this just goes in line with what their previous increases in revenue has been here. Right, so right now, let me see here. You can see in February, not even February, even in March, they were only at 8.8 million in revenue. Bitcoin was obviously down at that point. Bitcoin has come up. But you can see how the revenue is increasing here nicely. May was 14 million. June was 17 million here. July, we're looking at about 21 million, depending where August goes with Bitcoin price and everything else, and them getting to 18 exahash as well. We should see that improve as well. They might be able to get to like 24, 25 million, somewhere around there, depending where Bitcoin price goes. But that's a huge improvement. It's a bit, almost like a 3x improvement in revenues here for them, just in the last 5-6 months or so. So that's awesome to see. Love seeing that. So congrats to the team there at Hive. Definitely very, very well executed here, and this is what I love seeing. I love seeing growth, and they're doing that. So we'll get some more numbers from them when they report July numbers next month. We'll also get probably their financial results in August as well, I believe. So that'll be coming out, but that's going to be based on some of the smaller hash rate that they had here in Q2. And Q3 is when we really should start getting some better numbers from them going forward, and we'll definitely see how they're doing at that point. All right, so that's it on Hive. And then really quick here for Mara. Mara right now, well, we talked about this actually yesterday. Mara Holdings now announces pricing of Upsized, $950 million of offering of 0% convertible senior notes. We talked about it yesterday, so they did get that upsized. I think they were, what was yesterday's? Yesterday was it 850 or 750 million? I can't remember exactly which one it was. Or 800, I think it was 850 million. So they did get that upsized to 950 million here as it is. They're going to use that to pay off some debt that they have coming up here in 2026. Use the rest for Bitcoin buying along with corporate use as well. So we'll see how that one goes forward. Obviously, the news of it coming out yesterday didn't help the stock. Stock went down. Stock was down, I believe, today as well because of it. So it's going to flush itself out for a couple of days, and then it'll probably start going back up after this is all digested and everything else. But yep, so that's it for them. That's all I got for you guys here. So as always, the spreadsheet's going to be available to you guys tomorrow since I did update Hive already. I'll get this updated for you guys and sent out to the Patreon members there. Link for that is down in the description as always. And again, you get access to the spreadsheets, to our private Discord server, which now also includes automated SEC filings for these guys being reported in there, along with news on them, Bitcoin news, AI news, YouTube videos from a lot of the creators that you guys know probably in there as well, being put in there also. So it's become a really nice place to hang out. I'm actually enjoying it more now that we're having this added information being put in there for us. All right, so that's it. Let's get into Q&A here, so what you guys have to say, and we'll call it a day. Now, a lot of good new stuff happening here, so which is great to see. Let's see, where's Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin is at, let me see it. Bitcoin, 116,040. Yeah, it's starting to bounce back up a little bit here, it looks like. We'll see where it goes tomorrow. I don't know if we have any options expiry. I didn't look at that. You guys can let me know if we have that or not. All right, but as always, questions, if you could preface those with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down as always. I will get to all your guys' questions eventually. So just be patient there, and we'll get through it all here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, mind you, sold portion of my Cleanspark for SBET, title of Cleanspark being held under 14. Okay, well, you sold a portion of it, so that's okay. All right, but I think the longer it gets held under 14, the more explosive the upside might be once it does actually breach it here. When that's going to happen here, I don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be, next 2 months. I don't know. But I think that's going to happen there. Let's see. Alexander Hawk says, Mara is same price as it was in 2023 as BTC 29,000. There's been a lot of dilution. You got to look at where the market cap was at that point and where it is now as well. That kind of plays into it. All right, Victor C's got a question here. Question is this the market top for Bitcoin? Seems BTC is having a hard time to break 120. What are your thoughts on it? I don't think this is the top yet. What we've seen here recently, at least in Bitcoin in the past year or so, it does these kind of pumps up and then it kind of goes sideways for a while. Hopefully it's not going to be going sideways for or going down for 3 to 4 months. Hopefully this is going to be one of those things where we've seen it here at least recently. Let me go back to the screen here on it and go back to Bitcoin on it. But we saw this kind of happening here, right? We kind of went sideways for a number of days, then we bounced. We went sideways for a couple of days, actually went down, bounced, and then over here we actually went down, up and down, and then we went sideways and then finally bounced. So I'm hoping that we do this type of setup where we just go sideways for a little bit and then bounce, right? Go back up to like 125, 130, 135,000, whatever it might be, and then continue going sideways, maybe come back down a little bit, and then we're going to go back up again. That's kind of my thoughts on it, at least the way I'm seeing it right now. Could be wrong, could be, this could be the top. I don't think it is, because we talk about this every day. All the adoption that's happening out there, all these companies that are getting into Bitcoin Treasury and everything else, it's not relenting. It's not stopping. It's actually increasing. So for that reason, I don't think this is the top. All right, let's go back here to Q&A. Talked about that one. Okay. Andre's got a question here. Seb, how's it hanging? It's hanging good. Love the graphs and numbers segments of your show. Personally, I would stop giving future share price estimates as some don't understand that you don't own a crystal ball. I talk about it because it's kind of where I think things might go, right? Things may not go that way. So I try to at least give you guys an estimate, kind of lowball estimate of where things could go. But yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Daryl says, no way, BTC 250,000 by the third week of September. Okay. So you're thinking also that Bitcoin's going to go up here. Let's see. Sean says, MNU, I sold 1/3 of my Cleanspark for Bitfarms. All right, that's interesting. I did that. When did I do that? I did that last year. I sold, it wasn't a third position. I sold, I think it was like 10, 20% of it to buy IREN at that point. So I've done that as well. Thunder Jarvis says, CORZ is about to rocket. In order for that to happen, I think we need to have Core Weave go up in value as well. Daryl says, just keep dollar cost averaging until we rocket up and then take some profits, people. Hold until the third week of September, okay? As always, not financial advice, right? Manu says, need 50% gain on miners to get my all-time high from early 2024 back. Then I'll probably selling a lot. This isn't the cycle I was hoping for. Should have sold last year, missed many other opportunities. Could have missed out. Yeah, I mean, hindsight, right? You see things, other things going up, and you're like, oh, I should have done this. But could things have worked out differently? Yeah, things could have worked out differently where you sold something at a loss, bought something, and that could have gone in a loss as well. I don't like to look back at things as far as trades and things like that. You try to learn from it, but I don't like to look back. I think that's counterproductive because you're always going to be second guessing yourself. Daryl says, Riot is about to moon. I smell it. Okay. Daryl says, remember, people buy the rumor, sell the news. Yep. Daryl says, IRENs and Riot's turn next. Okay, that would be great. Sadie, thank you as always for the thumbs up and the likes. Chuck's got a question here. A core philosophy behind BTC was that there will never be more than 21 Bitcoin. Does the fact that miners print more money through their issue of more shares not bother you since you're a BTC holder? Let me reread that again. Does the fact that the miners print more money through their issue of more shares not bother you since you're a BTC holder? No, because that doesn't affect the Bitcoin price. Right? The Bitcoin price is affected by adoption and everything else. Where the miners, if I'm holding the miners, yeah, I'm not happy when they're diluting a lot and not doing much with it. But if you're at least growing your hash rate and getting potentially to scale where you can then dilute less going forward and have better revenues because Bitcoin price goes up, I'm okay with that kind of dilution. I'm less inclined to like dilution where it's just dilution that's continuous because you want to hodl Bitcoin and everything else. I don't agree with that. I think you should sell a portion of your Bitcoin regardless and then hold the rest if you want. That's fine. But I shouldn't be your piggy bank in order to hold Bitcoin. I think there's opportunistic times when you do want to hold more Bitcoin because price is low and you believe price is going to be going up, right? Like we have seen in the last year. I think that makes sense to do it at that point. But really, if I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I'd just buy Bitcoin. Or I could get the ETFs as well. So that's kind of the way I look at it. All right. Daryl's got a question here. Bitfarms or Hive? My vote is Hive. I mean, they're both kind of in the same, well, I wouldn't say same. There are differences, right? Bitfarms is now more in the United States than they have ever been before. Hive is still more outside of the United States, like they have historically been. Hive is also getting into the HPCI business as well, data centers. They bought a facility for that had 7 megawatts, I believe, in Ontario, I believe it was. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I know it's in Canada someplace. They've been also, doing the GPU part of it. They had a bunch of GPUs from when they were mining Ethereum. They transitioned that over to HPCI, so they've been getting some money on it as well from that. Bitfarms is looking to get an HPCI deal. Can they get a deal? But I like the Hive growth right now that we're getting to 25 exahash. That'll get them above Bitfarms here this year. And them getting into HPAs might be better. Might be, right? Can they get the love for not being in the United States? That's the only question that I have here. And like I said, they need to get their costs down as well. Cost to mine Bitcoin and everything else. But that's for both of them. Okay, R2509 says, earnings coming up shortly for miners. Do you think this will start a huge leg up for them? And have you started taking profits yet? Or do you still think we have a way to go with the miners? I don't know what the profits we know a lot of these guys are going to be in profits, right? But I think a lot of the investors are looking to see if the miners will actually be in profit without the FSB HODL portion of it, right? So are they cash flow positive with operations? If they're not, I don't know if it's going to have a huge impact because I think it would have had an impact already with, like Mara having 1.1, 1.2 billion in gains from the FSB HODL. So they should be up way higher than they are already. So I don't know if there's going to be an impact on it, but we'll see. And have I taken any gains on the miners yet? No, I still think we're going to be going up higher. So I'm holding out for a little bit longer. We'll see where we go. I still believe that Bitcoin's going to get to like 150 to maybe 200,000 later on this year. That should propel the miners up higher from here. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. Okay. Let's see. Daryl says BTC is tanking. Tomorrow's going to be a huge buying opportunity. Yeah, if you're in it for a little bit longer time frame, then yeah, this is definitely a buying opportunity. Bitcoin's going down. Bitcoin's not really tanking. It's 116,000. We've been here before, just in the last 2 weeks. You can see it here. We were actually a low of, at this point, where did we go? Low of 115,697. Right now we are a low of 115,183. So we're kind of right there where we were. Again, the nice thing is we're at the same price that we were just about 2 weeks ago, but the RSI is way, way lower. I like that setup. I like what I'm seeing here at least. We'll see if it plays out that way where we actually eventually bounce here and rocket nicely in price. All right, let's see. All right, what do you think about Griffin this cycle? Well, Griffin's going to be merging with America BTC, or is it American BTC? I can't remember. I think it's America BTC, which is a portion of Hut 8's basically Bitcoin mining fleet. They're giving that all to American BTC. I need to see what the numbers are going to be like as far as shares out there and everything else. Right? What is that actually going to mean? So Griffin's going to become American BTC, basically. They're being absorbed more or less in a reverse way, I guess. Let's see here. Kiwi Dub says, bye-bye, Mara. Going to dump back to 16. Bitcoin stays down at these levels overnight. Yeah, we could definitely be going down. All right. Are you willing to buy Hive? Oh, geez. I had Hive from 2017 through, when did I sell? 2023. I had some profit. I had bigger profits when it went up in 2021. Should have sold then. But I still in profit in 2023. So I held on to it for a long time. They were like the very first miner that you could actually invest on the market. The thing that concerned me in the past was their lack of ambition to get to beyond 1% of the network hash rate here for their own Bitcoin mining side of things. Seeing what they're doing this year, getting to possibly 2.5%, something like that, maybe 3%, depending where the network hash rate is at, and getting to 25 exahash, I think is great. They're going also into HPC is great. I'd like to see them be more in the United States, though, have some more operations in that. But and that's the one thing that's kind of keeping me away from them is their lack of operations in the United States. Because I don't know if investors will value them properly and because of the jurisdiction risk in the other countries. That's my only concern. Okay. Sean has a question here. Is there an earnings call coming up for Mara? And if so, will that make the price jump if they are profitable? I'm pretty sure they're going to be profitable. I don't know if it's going to make the stock jump. But it is coming up here. When do they have it? 27th or the 29th? I can't remember. One of those 2 days. I know it's before Riot. I think Riot is like the 31st. And then Mara is just like a couple days before them. So it's coming up. Marcus asks, is Galaxy overpriced? Oh, geez, that I don't know. They got a deal with CoreWeave there, right, for Helios facility. Let me see, where's Galaxy right now? At 43. Yeah, it's gotten to a new all-time high here. Let's take a look at the chart here on this one. Going back here. So this is daily. It's the highest it's been here in a long time. We're getting back up to the levels that it was back in the peak of the bull run in 2021 with Bitcoin, right? So it's getting back up to it. Actually kind of surpassed it here right now, I think. The high was 46.70. This was back in April. So that was the first top in Bitcoin. Then we had the second top in Bitcoin here. They followed suit as well. I don't know. I have to look at their numbers more or less to see what they have. They got the Helios site. They obviously hold Bitcoin. They do lending. They do all these other things. I don't know. I really do not know. I would have to look to see what their MNEV is possibly and other things as well. So I don't track them that closely. So I do not know, to be honest with you. Couldn't tell you. All right, going back here. Talked about that one. All right, David's got a question or comment here. I'm not sure. Have been training AI models on your data, or try and find capitulation points to more accurately predict tops and bottoms. When I have a working platform, I'll give it to you for free. Probably. Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, AI is so interesting, and there's so many things that you could do with it. It's just I don't have time. I do a little bit with it as it is right now, but getting into like that detail of thing, oh, I'd love to do that as well, but I would need more time. I work full time, and then I do this on my spare time actually. So, but I've done some automation with AI as well for the Discord server and things like that. That's awesome to see. It just saves me so much more time because now I have the articles populating into the Discord's channel there, and I can, I set it up to have only pull in the articles that I want, Bitcoin miners, things like that, it's pulling it all in. And it saves me from having to go to all these different sites. It's a huge time saver there, and really convenient to have it all in one place. Okay, let's see here. Morton's got a question here. BMSG went out on a limb and said he thought Cleanspark would do 24 to 35. Bitcoin mining stock, okay. 24 to 35 base case in Q4 with BTC at 180,000 bullish, 40 to 50 in Q4 with BTC at 230. What do you think? I would agree with that, actually. Right? I think somewhere between there is where I would see it also. That's kind of where, yeah, I agree with that. I think that's pretty close to where I would put it at. I would say 20 to 30 maybe. I'd go probably a little bit lower than that. 20 to 30 and then 30 to like 45. Right? If you get higher than that, that'd be great. All right. CJ is asking, why are we dropping in price in Bitcoin? Well, we got some sellers. We got some shenanigans happening in the market right now, probably. Some shorts, combination of everything on it. But we've done this. I mean, we've dropped a couple times already in the last 2 weeks. We're just kind of trading sideways right now. Right? At least, see, if you at least hold 116,000 or something like that, I think we'll be okay. We could drop down to like 115, 114, have a quick wick down there, and then we'll be back up. All right, more Tim says, every time I've gotten frustrated with a miner and sold a portion to rotate elsewhere, that is where the first miner started going up again. I've been through that before, not with the miners so much, but with other things in the past, that I've figured if I have high conviction in something, I'm going to hold on to it, probably dollar cost average into it some more, and just run it until I'm happy with the results, and then sell at that point. All right, Gary's got a question here. Other than IREN, which has been profitable the last 2 quarters, do you think we will have a second miner finally operationally positive in Q2? Pretty late in the cycle for only one miner profitably. Yeah, IREN's been the best here, best cost of mining and everything else. I'm thinking possibly Cleanspark. Cleanspark might be the other one that here comes in profitable as well without the impact of the FSB. But we shall see. I think that'd be great for it if it did. Let's see. William says, I just picked up more Mara at 1705. 14,530 shares total so far. Nice. Very nice there. Nice batch. Let's see. Marcus says, BTC falling. Anything to do with next week? Maybe FOMC meeting on August 1st. That I don't know. Might be, might not be. I mean, but it's not falling that hard. It's not down to like 110,000, 105,000. Let's see. William says, more earnings soon. With this price, BTC, we should see a really good earnings news. We should see good new earnings, right? But most of it's going to be due to the FSB impact. Also, their production this month has not been great so far from what I'm seeing. So we'll see where they actually come in at the end of the month here for Bitcoin production. And that may be why the stock is also down. Manipulation. CJ said manipulation. Yeah, I think it's just market being the market. We are just all pawns in that game. Let's see, Mara will dominate. They should dominate, right? They have everything there to dominate. It's just can they execute on their operations? Much better operations. We need to see those. So we'll see. Victor C. question. There was a topping tail for BTC graphs. Is this a big deal? A topping tail? I'm not sure what that is, so I really can't comment on that one. Not what a topping tail is. Guy, do you think Cleanspark can hit 18 if they get good earnings on August 7th? You're the best. Thank you so much. And do I think it depends where Bitcoin price is at. If they report on August 7th and Bitcoin is actually starting to climb back up a little bit, that might help them propel the stock. Also, if they can have positive EPS without the impact of the FSB, for the hodl there, I think that would also propel the stock up as well. I mean, the good news with Cleanspark is they're great at operating. They're growing as well. I mean, they're at 50 exahash right now. They're supposed to be 60 exahash plus by the end of the year. They're not diluting, right? They're selling a portion of the Bitcoin, hodling the rest to fund their operations and growth going forward here. The stock should be doing much better, but we're seeing the stocks that are getting into HPCI getting a little bit more love right now because of that. Okay, and I think we've caught up to all you guys' questions here. So yeah, I mean, tomorrow's Friday. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And cover anything else. We'll try and pull up some more good news stories on Bitcoin and anything else that pops up into the feed there. We'll discuss it. We'll talk about it. I'll give you guys my thoughts as always on it. But just want to say thank you so much for coming in here. And Marcus has a question here coming in right now. Let's see if we can pull this up really quick. Do you think earnings will be good this quarter for miners? I just read Bitfarms finalized the Hive money. They should have good numbers, the ones that have a hodl position, right? Some of the other ones that have a lower hodl position might have a harder time having good numbers there. All right, let's see. Guy says, you are the only miner YouTuber who is not sponsored by anyone. Yeah, I do that for a reason. I don't want to show you guys on something that I wouldn't use myself, or yeah, I just wouldn't do that. That's not me. I'm not in it for the money. I get asked all the time, emails sent in about, you know, doing a deal or something like that with somebody. It's like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how long they've been in business. It's like, I could take the money and put it out there, but I'm like, no, that's not me, right? I'm happy with the couple $100 that I'm making here on YouTube as it is. Helps pay for the lights for some of the equipment that I buy here and pay for the electricity to keep this place either heated or cooled in the summertime. So it helps out that way. And then Patreon members help up even more. Let's see. Sour Melon says Tom isn't sponsored either. Yeah, I don't think he's had any sponsors on either. Yeah, so you're right there. So me and Tom. Guy said that's why we love you and trust you. Good night. Well, I appreciate that, and that's why I do it, right? It's trying to build that trust with you guys as best as I can. Not always right about where things go, but I try to be honest with you guys and give you guys my thoughts on things. All right, but that's it. Love you all. I hope you guys have a great night. We'll cover tomorrow, whatever happens tomorrow. And then we'll see where things go over the weekend. We'll get back in the swing of things on Sunday then. All right, have a great night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Until then,